Hello guys, welcome to day 14 of Hackerrank 30 Days of Code Challenge, and today's topic is scope. So you already know what absolute difference, right? The absolute difference between two integers a and b is written as shown here, the absolute sign and a minus b. So suppose a is 3 and b is 5, then the absolute difference between two will be 3 minus 5 come mod, which is 2. So that is what absolute difference is. So in this task we'll be given an array of a vector of elements, and then we'll have to find the maximum difference between any two, maximum absolute difference between any two elements in that elements vector. So in to complete this task, we are going to use object-oriented programming. So we are going to make use of classes, constructor, objects, and all the related concepts. Okay, so we don't have to write the whole code. We just have to complete the class constructor, and then we'll have to write a function that computes the the maximum absolute difference between any two numbers in a vector. So this is the summary of the task that we are going to perform, and these are some constraints. So n is the number of elements, and the value of each element will be between 1 and 100. So that is that. Okay, this is the input that we are going to get. First we'll get n, which are the number of elements or the size of the vector, and then we'll have the elements themselves on the next line. So the size of the vector is 3 and the vector elements are 1, 2 and 5. So as you can guess, the maximum absolute difference will be 5 minus 1, and will be the absolute difference of 1 and 5, which is 1 minus 5 is minus 4, and the mod of that will be 4. So this is how we have to calculate and print the output. Okay, and the printing of output will also be taken care by the stub code itself. So now that the explanation of code is covered, let's write the program itself. Let's see what the stub code has in it. Alright, so this is the class difference that we'll have to complete. This is the main function. So an integer called n will be declared, and the input will be taken and stored in n. A vector, an integer vector called a is declared, and then the input of all the vector elements are taken and they are stored in the vector a. Then this is the declaration of an object called d, which is of the class difference, and a is the parameter, which is a vector. And then the function compute difference is called by using the dot operator, and then the variable maximum difference is called by using the dot operator again. So this is the explanation of the main function. Now let's complete the class difference. So first we'll have to write the constructor. So the constructor name is same as the name of the class difference, and this will take a parameter called a, and the purpose of the constructor is to initialize the class members. So we'll do that. We'll initialize elements, the vector elements, which is already declared in the private visibility label. Damn my spelling. With the vector a, which is the parameter that we are going to take in this constructor. Okay, so this completes the constructor function. Now let's write the function compute difference. So this function will return nothing, so the return type will be void, the name of the function. Okay, void compute difference, and will it take any parameter? I don't think so, because it is just going to make use of the class member, so it doesn't require any parameter. Okay, now how do you calculate the absolute maximum maximum absolute difference between any two elements in a vector. So my method will here be that I'll sort the vector in ascending order, and the maximum absolute difference will always be between the last element of the vector and the first element of the vector. So suppose that this is the example 1, 2 and 5 are the vector elements. So if we sort them in an ascending order, the order still remains the same, and we can clearly see that the maximum difference will be between 5 and 1, and that is why the output will be 4. Suppose you take array elements as 4, 1 and 3, then you will have to sort it. So the order becomes 1, 3 and 4, and the maximum absolute difference will be the first element, which is 1, and between the last element, which is 4. So the output will be 3. So this is what my logic will be like. So let's get to the part where we know how it's done. Okay, so we'll have to sort that vector, and for that we'll use the sort function. Now, as I've shown you before, if we want to sort between two specific elements, we write those two elements in the bracket. So I want to sort the whole vector, that's why I'll use the first element and the last element, which will be v dot begin the index of the first element. Okay, no, v is not the vector, we have to use the vector elements. So elements dot begin, and the last element of the of that vector will be elements dot end. So this will sort the vector in ascending order. Now all we have to do is print the difference between the last element and the first element. Okay, that will be, so the last element of a vector is elements dot back. Remember, elements dot end gives you the iterator index of that vector, and elements dot back gives you the value of the last element of the vector, and elements dot front gives you the value of the first element of the vector. Okay, wait, we don't have to give the output is taken care by the stub code. We just have to assign maximum difference with this. That is it, we have completed the code. Now let's run the code and see if it works. It is working fine. Let's submit the code now. Okay, great, it's working. So that is the end of this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.